Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Disco Elysium on the PC. So far, I think we've only really solved like one thing, like the cursed business or whatever. I think we solved. I mean, we sort of solved it. I don't know if we solved like concretely, like you could put it in the books of why all these businesses failed, but we solved like the noises that the lady was hearing. I think that's really the only thing we've solved so far. Oh wait, we have a done tab. I mean, there's a lot of like little tasks I finished, but that doesn't mean I like solved a minor investigation of any kind. Find out who's in the union box. I solved that? I don't know. I found my paperwork. I guess that's something. Sort of. Bottom line is we keep finding new things to do and never really solving anything. But we're close to figuring out this whole drug trafficking thing. Someone using this whole shipping center to smuggle drugs through into Revachol with these lorry drivers. And it seems that the person that was doing the smuggling is no longer around. She was a troubled woman. And we basically broke a friendship that we had, shattered it to pieces. I guess. I don't know if I knew the guy that well. I'm not as devastated as he is. In order to get a key so that we can check out this lorry. I don't know if it was this one. No, it wasn't this one. I don't know which one it is. We have to look around. This one. The green Fallen AZ Contemporane is parked in the shadow of the ruins illuminating overhead. It's seen better days. This is the one our man pointed to. The lieutenant peeks inside. Try to peek in the window. Glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and two steering levers. Try the door handle. Door is locked. The handle looks shiny like it's recently replaced. Unlock the door. Push the key into the lock and turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the door pops back a few centimeters. You can just open it. The smell of... Jesus. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. Admire the posters. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films, from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. Study the centerfold. The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put a finger on whom exactly. This is Tip Tijon, a starlet from dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death. What happened to her? She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here on Boogie Street. A mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world. And the camera, too. Okay. The actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. Examine the radio. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver. Kim leans closer to the radio and hums. Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. Why would anyone need so many radio stations? For contact an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. He flicks a switch on the radio. This is all shortwave, UW, and UKV. Looks like we're dealing with an impressive organizational tool, the nerve center of a huge operation, with quite the range, too. Is there anything we can do with the radio? Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key. Okay. Check the pedals. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip. Looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some extra grip. Sandpaper, Lieutenant repeats. A novel technique. Okay, pull out the pull-out toolbox. A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty except for a folded newspaper. Unfold the newspaper. It's an issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the ULAN frequency system. Lieutenant leans over your shoulder to examine the note. The ULAN frequency system. I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but his thought trail is off. Push in the pull-out toolbox. Close the door. Close the rusty old lorry door. Great, I think we got everything. A word, Detective? He steps away from the lorry, before we return to Choice.
Alright, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Seems like something police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim? Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. This means it's well-funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it. I'm not sure what the ULAN frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks. What about the movie posters? How do they factor into all this? As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade. Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role. A lot of women there, especially for a lady driver's cabin. Yes, well, he doesn't say more. Unimportant? How do you think this is connected to the Union? We didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation, but somehow I doubt that Everard Clare would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose. My suggestion is we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery eel, but we just might be able to pin them down indirectly, down the road. Will the RCM open an investigation into this? We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we're done for the day, I'll call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when we're done here, we do not want to get caught in that. He stops to think. What are you thinking? The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madra grouping is involved. And I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome. Corruption? He nods. All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either. Okay. Debrief over? Debrief over. He nods. After you. Okay. We still need a tiny bit of money. That's true. But what I really would like to do is get that fucking body down. And I don't know what to do about it. Volumetric shit compressor. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. Oh yeah. But I need a level. Well, we can go to Frit. I can get more ammonia. We can try that, but getting my shit together would be a good start. XP doesn't grow on trees, you know.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Do you have any ammonia for sale? She looks up from her magazine, eyes filled with tired ennui. Yes, she hitches her thumb toward the end of the counter. What we have is there in the medicine cabinet. Go take a look yourself. Can do. Wait, is this the medicine? Yes. I want to buy some ammonia. Okay, she hands you a small capsule. Don't, like, overdo it or something. Okay, but I want to sell my shit.
Is this about the questions again? Because
No. Maybe this is where you sell it? Yes, insert your bottles. Made $1.60! Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now. You know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You should buy more alcohol. Enter this endless cycle of consumption. No. Negative. Close to paying for our room. I only need to pick up a few more bottles and we'll be fine. But, okay, we bought some ammonia. It didn't work last time. It's probably not going to work this time. But damn it, I've got to try. Okay, 42%. I mean, that's decent. Oh! You crack open the ammonia ampule and breathe in. The odor of death is still stronger. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your eyes squinting, you stand in it. It's a puzzle. What's happening in front of you is a puzzle of decaying flesh, tattoos, and tendons. Do they always do that? They do after 7 days, yes. We're deep in decomposition here. The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength. Inspect the boots. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you. Out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots, they're armor, possibly part of a larger set. These aren't just boots, are they? This is the armor he was stripped of. Indeed. With his notebook under his arm, the lieutenant crouches to inspect the soles. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots. Oh, the lieutenant uses a Mnemotechnique A6. That's not just any notebook, it's a classic. Mnemotechnique? Forget about the notebook. Tell me about the armor. It's clearly some manner of super armor, or future armor. Super future armor. I'm useless. What kind of armor is this exactly? Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Where? Under the heel. Fairweather. He turns the boot slightly. Fairweather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff. Where's the rest of it? Scavenged by the locals? He nods. Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if they didn't. We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. He nods towards Kuno, who's eyeing you suspiciously. This is one thing he might actually know. Maybe he was just wearing these boots and there is no rest of the armor. No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirt we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics. Nice, that makes sense. What if they told him to strip before they hung him? To demean him? They usually hang them completely naked for that. La Puta Madre, the Mazda, the Besmertes, and the like. This one still has his underpants. Fucking talking about underpants. Clearly Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to. The material looks out of place here. It is. It's expensive. Lieutenant draws a line in the condensation on the ceramic with his index finger. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. Constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. How much are we talking about? For a full set, about 4 years of wages. The northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank. Wait, my yearly pay is 5,500 real? Not too much, yes. Well, it's $20 at like a hotel for a night. It doesn't seem like that much. Sounds puny. No wonder I can't pay my hostel bill. It's a sorry situation, I agree. How could this man afford such expensive hardware? That's for us to find out. He checks his notes. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions. Initial report. Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure he did the same. He's not actually sure of that. He's just being tactful. These look pretty advanced for a security guard. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford. Knock on the boot. A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup. Sounds fragile. It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. He points to the boots. See? Faint organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them all together, like whorls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps. What does this remind me of? If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-section would look like. Run your fingers over the lines. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right saboton where you notice. The whorls are in the shape of a letter and number combination. E50, 100, 1000. Looks like there's a serial number on the right saboton. It could be Sabaton. It's a word you see in, like, Diablo or something, fantasy games. I've never heard it pronounced. Good. Can you read it to me? He tips the drying ballpoint of his pen on the tongue. Okay, I could lie to... Why would I lie? No, I'm not gonna lie. That's weird. Why would I lie to him about this? He'd probably call me out or something. E50, 100, 1000. We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us. Pull the boot off. This feels dangerous. Are you sure? Grab the boot under your arm. The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above. Stop! The lieutenant's voice is sharp. He looks at you with the boot under your arm. Pig's gonna pull his head off. Brutal. What? Even the mongrels can see you're about to pull his head off. Do it, homo. I'm not a homo. Stop obsessing about your sexuality, officer. You're about to seriously compromise the coroner's case. Indeed, from this angle it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more. Being dead for a week has all but liquefied his muscles. What are you trying to achieve, anyway? Why are you hanging on that boot? You said they're expensive. I thought I could pawn them, earn some lucre. For a full set of armor, I wouldn't blame you. These boots are hardly worth a disciplinary hearing. There are better ways to pay a hostel bill. Besides, he taps the boot. It's hard to get a read on the lieutenant. What would he do if you stole them? Would he report you or not? Surprisingly, you feel like he probably wouldn't. There's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They're fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet? What's going to happen to the boots then? Processing will take care of them. The situation in the morgue will yield nothing, but we must pick our fights. He looks toward the boots. Should we continue? Sure, let's look at the belt now. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships. Don't ask me how I know, but this is a lashing belt used for airlifting cargo. Airlifting? I thought it was used in lorries, for strapping cargo to them. Apparently this is the reinforced kind, for air transport. My brain tells me so. He nods. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they used whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves. They sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope is reinforced with steel wiring. I was afraid it would be. He rises to inspect the noose. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. We're assuming dock workers from the harbor did it? I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes, motivated by the ongoing strike. Politely raises an eyebrow. You? Yes, he agrees. The brief we got from the Wild Pines representative appears to be solid too. A lynching is what this looks like. No, you feel like it was something else. But what? I feel like it was something else. Yes, he covers his nose. It often is. This belt worries me. How did they even get him up there? A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. He points to the buckle tying the belt to the branch above. Did they climb up using the kid's ladder? That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch and pulled on the belt to close the buckle. He makes a pulling motion. Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. Okay, tattoos. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso. From the right shoulder to the solar plexus, each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars. What will mine be marked by? Alcohol and heartbreak. Is this a microelectronic system? I have only a cursive knowledge of the science of cybernetics. I would not know if it were. But it's not quite complex enough, is it? We're missing something here. I agree. A sudden ring fills the air as the lieutenant pulls down the zipper of his orange jacket. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminum from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Or aluminium, if you like it that way. And pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears, some sort of camera. What's that? Trigat Sunshine Mini. Trigat is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow. Shit, Kuno, what the fuck is that? An instant color camera. He produces two metal-capped ampules and clicks them into place on the side of the apparatus. A thin slot shines there. This is the first time he openly acknowledges the kid's existence. I have only two ampules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one. He points the camera at the corpse, peering into it. The lens needs adjusting. Then... whoa! A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out. On it, a color-perfect copy of the dead man's tattooed chest. In case we need it, Lieutenant says, and shakes the paper, letting it dry in the cold wind. Cool machine. Yes, he slides the camera closed and tucks it away in his belt. It is pretty cool, isn't it? What do we need this photo for? It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around. Can I have it? I should look at it later without the corpse smell. Sure, just don't lose it. He hands you the piece of rolled up photo paper. It's no larger than a pack of cigarettes. The glassy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms. Look him in the eye. His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There's no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess. Tell me, who are you, dead man? I'm gone. Nice. Where have you gone? Into the wild pale yonder. Where's that? In the past, way out in the west. I can see you're gone, but who are you? I'm a joke. Look at me. There's nothing funny about you. There's nothing funny about jokes either. Who were you when you were alive? A killer. A motherfucker and a killer. I have another question for you. What is happening? What do you mean? I'm talking to you. The power of your black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips. Imagination. Yeah, man, don't be crazy. Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much. He loves those. Why do I love questions so much? Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. You want more questions? Give me a comical amount of questions. Yeah. Nice. Coming right up, Copper Rooney Rooney. This is getting upbeat now. Is my name Rooney? Fuck no, you're no Rooney. Rooney is obviously not who I am. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry. I feel like I've been getting a lot of Harry lately. Might be onto something there. Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible? Because you have. Who killed you? Love did me in, Brother Capo. It was love all along. Didn't you ask me a question? Sure, Lobo, I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this? What? Looking at my face, motionless, looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder? Maybe this will lead to something. Something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous? Ha! The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. The face rotates before you, slowly. Something is on its way, something hidden. It's coming, a miracle, from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air on your hands, the cold spring air smoothing them over. I hate you. You stink and you're boring. Do I remind you of someone? A child born with Mahler's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously. A baby affected with harlequinism. You sure wriggled out of that one, Coppolini. Enough. You can come back and look into this face anytime you want. Humor yourself with my harlequin features. Ask me your little questions. Freshen your memory. Create associations. Remind yourself of your mortality, Capolopo. Squint and take a step back. As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration? Observe. Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air. His face and hands are pink. Thighs, too. I see it. He adjusts his glasses. His neck, too. The lividity goes right up to his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here. Relax your eyes. The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot. So, what do you think? I think he was upright after death. His hand, feet, and neck are discolored. Agreed, he points to the belt, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging. Could it still be he was moved after death? There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first. Something is coming out of him. A pool of blood and feces is eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop. The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death. The fuck he's saying? Talking about shit? Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death. Maybe. He doesn't really want to dwell on it too long. He's beaten up. See the bruises? I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport. Stop talking in riddles, coin slot. It means you fucked him up good, Kuno, the girl yells. Fucked him up brutal-like. I think he's dead. I agree. There are crow's feet in his eyes. He's laughing silently. His personality is no longer a part of the world. Totally dead. The world no longer stores his personality in its composition. There was a time for that, and it ended 7 days ago. He nods in agreement with this advanced piece of conceptualization. Having mulled it over, the lieutenant says, that sounds about right, yes. Okay, how do we get him down? He stops to think, then checks his notes. Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's down. Okay, was there anything? No, I can't ask him anything else, so, yep, it's done. Level up! Steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material. We could saw the branch. Climb up there and saw the branch. Yeah, it seems dangerous. There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down off trees. Maybe we can ask for help from the harbor. I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appears to be suspects in this case. Seems like a dangerous route to go down. I'd really prefer it if there was another way. These people might have an agenda. To reconsider. Maybe we should shoot him down. Can't someone else do it? Someone else? He pauses. You mean like the police? What was that about processing then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots? Why don't they help? Can't the boys from processing take care of this? No. Why? Think of the boys from processing as murderers. Only instead of people, they murder crime scenes. Processing is a wrecking crew. They know how to commission off items and how to work the incinerator in the morgue. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us, and we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down fast. Maybe we could shoot him down. Yeah, the enthusiasm is unrestrained. Bang, bang time, pig. Shoot his head off. Lieutenant remains unaffected. How? Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. It's a good spot to aim. There. The buckle holds the belt together. Where? He corrects his glasses. Ah, yes. I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt. Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain the Kuno with some shit. They'll miss. The pigs will miss, Kuno. Lieutenant is undecided. On one hand, he wants to shoot some gun. On the other, it's an awfully stupid idea. I highly doubt I would be any good at shooting a gun. Say nothing. Let him choose. Silence. With his elbows sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket. He produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. That's a Kygel A990 Armistice mass-produced muzzle loader. Ascetic, frugal, one of the most common firearms in the world. He then steps back and assumes the Ballostes position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger. Say nothing. He's gonna fucking mitt. The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself, God damn it. Feels bad about it. About his eyes, mostly. Just having bad eyesight. Probably from a young age. Whatever you do, do not console him. Fucking idiot. Mulkoopa asshole. Kuno could have hit it easy. But then, Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Try again, maybe? No. We're lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised. He looks around at the windows overlooking the yard. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us. I didn't do us any favors with that. What now? I have to say it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance. Can I have the gun? I should try. As bad as it is, us shooting firearms like punks. He pauses, then shrugs and proceeds to load the pistolet. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it. The piece shines in his outstretched hand. They only have one gun! This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen. Take the gun. Yes. Yeah. Take it, you fucking banana poika. Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth. Feel the weight first. Cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal, surprisingly light. Your finger fits right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger. Fuck you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth. Point the gun at the belt. The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm. Why don't you just shoot yourself? At least you won't miss. Point the gun at Kuno S. Oh my god. I mean, if I had saved, no, it would just waste time. I mean, I'm really fucking curious, but I don't want to. No. Oh, I knew I'm gonna be terrible. Close your left eye first. Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the noon light as the corpse slowly rotates. The slow movement of the branch in the wind in your shoulders directing the gun sync up, dancing hypnotically. Look, he's crying. You're gonna cry now, fucking Fagari? Well, we got 17%. I'll say shut up. Or what, you gonna fuck me? Her voice is almost a whisper now. You gonna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is about? Alright, fuck it. Oh, God! A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. With your ears still ringing, you lower the weapon to see what happened. You miss the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from the skin. No blood, only a murky sludge dripping down his belly. The sudden stink makes your eyes water. Oh my God, he's gonna fucking cry. I knew it. What a molku. Something wrong with your weapon, Lieutenant. It keeps missing. The arm assist is sufficiently precise, officer, especially at close range. He takes his sidearm from you and holsters it. It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot, it's your pig hands. Pigs don't have hands, they have like fucking hooves or something. Kuno has hands. He displays his little finger. They're pink. Kuno could shoot that shit down for you. That's preposterous. We're not giving you the gun, kid. That's preposterous, she whines mockingly. What are you, a fucking Earl? We still need to get him down somehow. His tone is growing tired now. The stench makes him turn away from the corpse. But how? The bad way. The way I didn't want us to, he sighs. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. If they put him up there, they can take him down, too. Want to be dangerous? To ask the suspects for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Everard Clare? Very much, yes. Which is why I would have preferred us to handle this ourselves. Clearly, we can't. Suck my dick, bitches! What's wrong with being indebted to Everard Clare? He's a dangerous and corrupt man, and we cannot predict what he will want from us in return. Yeah, don't go being someone else's bitches. You're Kuno's bitches. How do we get inside the harbor? From the gates, by negotiating or fighting. I'm unenthusiastic about fighting. He looks around. Or we can try to find some secret third path. It's unlikely, though. To the gates. Let's negotiate. Alright. Sounds good. Jamais vu. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new. Like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is the fundamental question. The -1 encyclopedia, but +1 XP for every orb clicked. And all int learning caps raised by 1. That's pretty good. I think I want to roll with that. Let's unlock another thing. Now, volumetric shit compressor. Is that the one that's like really important that they were like, you have to please solve this one? I think that was that one. So let's internalize that one. And we're about to negotiate our way into the dock, so let's level up. Oh, I only got 1 skill point. Oh, okay, never mind then. I was gonna level up rhetoric. How can 2 fucking cops point blank not shoot a piece of metal? Stationary. Crazy. It's crazy. But I gave him back the gun, right? Yeah, I gave him back the gun. Oh well. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. I already read this. It almost looks like the electronic patterns inside a radio computer, an old filament memory, but not quite. Who are you? Gone. What's the meaning of this tattoo? For you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone close to the victim might know. Someone who knows about history could tell you. Well, that would be the Joyce, right? She knows all about history. Alright, let's try and get in the harbor. This seems important. We still have some time to get an extra $1. I'm not gonna sweat it too much. Okay, so we can't actually get in this way. We have to...
Scab?
Oh. Asked a man with jolly eyes, tilting his head. You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time. Yeah, I'm... Scab, poor and downtrodden. Right to work.
Good one, officer. Don't worry, we here have solidarity with the RCM. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
He chuckles, then realizes.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the wild north? Come to see the strife?
Looking for assistance with a dead body situation. Body still hanging in the tree? He rubs his chin as if pondering his core beliefs. Aye, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. Not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union who can render assistance, he shrugs. Does this mean you can let me through the gate? I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. He takes a swig and points up the stairs with his flask. The passage grants itself. If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way? That simple? I just walk in? Aye, walk right past a measurehead and go in. Past a measurehead? Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Seminese supremacist there. Points at the bridge above the gates. Walk right past him. Right. Then press the button to unlock the door. Aha. Then go past him again. Okay. Then you enter the harbor through the office. That's done. You're saying it's actually quite difficult. Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best measure head in a physical confrontation. Or you could convert to his Seminese supremacist worldview. Or, strokes his mustache. Maybe it actually is completely impossible. Has any of the scabs tried converting to his worldview? Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition. Has anyone here ever bested him in a physical confrontation? Not yet, no. He fixes his eyes on you, evaluating your prowess. He's incredibly strong. Got it. The man whistles a jaunty tune, the wind rustling his whiskers. I'm a bit short on money right now. Can you give me some of it? Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out. He flips a coin towards you. Try to catch it. Oh, God. Fail. Coin narrowly slips by your outstretched fingers and falls to the ground. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Rubs the back of his head. It was not meant as provocation or ridicule. Lieutenant Kitsuragi picks up the coin and hands it to you. Appreciate it. Oh, $1! Oh! We can stay in the hotel. Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not Slytherin scabs. I've come to Martinez investigating a murder. Murder, huh? It sounds like a lot of hard work. You never see me investigating a murder. You're right, it's almost impossible. I'm 91% sure I'll never get it solved. Probably not. He nods. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Much better here at the harbor, for an honest Union man like me. What's the strike about, anyway? You know, serious business. He smiles. I'm sure the big boss would be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first. He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the Union boss and are on a better footing with the organization. Okay. Let me talk to this big guy down here. Maybe he can help.
Right to work! Right to work!
Nope, he can't help. Okay. Alright, we'll go talk to this crazy, strong foreign guy who's also a supremacist. That should be interesting.
No
body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
The young woman at the giant's side agrees. Say nothing. Size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
A ripple of muscle passes underneath his skin. He lets you look.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
What do you mean my body betrays my degeneracy?
You have succumbed to Ungul.
His face contorts in disgust, as if he were smelling a dead rat.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Ungul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Kim, is it really so bad?
It's not good.
You're right. I'm an alcoholic, and I need that dead body to no longer be in the tree.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there. That fat racist over there. You're just him after pumping some iron.
Look at my craniology. I am the pinnacle of my haplogroup. The pink blood is a bad example, even of yours. It saddens me. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
You're right about all this. Now I need you to help me get that corpse down from the tree.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Seminole Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality called art and your microcephalic skulls.
Maybe a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. Wouldn't that mean I have to become a Seminese supremacist myself? Well, yes. Why don't you want to be a Seminese supremacist? So what if you're not Seminese? You can be anything. Okay, well, I have an 8% chance of knocking him out, which would be pretty impressive. Or a 97% chance to subscribe to his advanced race theory. Let's hold off on it. You serve the Union, don't you? Aren't they white? Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. He turns his eye towards the harbor, seemingly bored with you. Yeah, but you still serve them. How does that factor into your life? Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital, something your race naivistic communists never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. I'm no communist. Communism is pretty cool. Individualism is my jam. My jam is a mysterious fourth thing. Communism is pretty cool. Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you, the fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases. Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? He leans closer. Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music? Gotten it from disco, actually. Offshoots of the Semines people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race, but what is done is done. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Semines race. Okay, I'll ask, who are the Semines? The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Periconassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago, millennia before you. We are the future. That is all you need to know. So you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to Revachol. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbur are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminese women walk into the gray mass on Ile des Fantômes, waiting on immaculate conception from the Pale. So you did not come from the islands? No, he cranes his head. I have heard about it on the radio. You would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the women. So you're not really Seminese, you're just from Revachol. I'm from Quran. He changes tactics. And no, it is not just in Revachol. This city is central to the Seminese strategy, spreading through its trade networks. Our culture will dominate the world. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never getting that dead body down from the tree. Kim, what do you think about this? I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one. That'll be our lucky racist. He will grant us 3 wishes. Your patomorphic friend is quick wits. Leans in to inspect. A protruding occiput and an indented zygomatic bone. Lieutenant does not flinch. You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind. Know anything about this mug? He does not so much as glance at the object. This your kind of thing? Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it. He had nothing to do with it. Why are you not with the Hardy Boys? I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. He looks towards the coast defiantly. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading. Pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him. He's usually more himself. But you're all part of the Union. The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the Union alone, and I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Seminese. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman. Next time a telemarketer calls, I'll just say that. There's more to it. What have you got against them? Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence of a possibly sexually perverted female vagrant and a narcotics peddler. It's shameful. Who do you mean? Find out for yourself, endomorphic blob. That's great. What are those tattoos of yours supposed to mean? Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. He gestures towards the lorrymen down the street. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenology grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt. You're right. That's craniometric perfection. My race does not stand a chance. Correct. Alright, subscribe to his advanced race theory. Ask what kind of races there are there first. Classification is core to this stuff. Measurehead, I am new to this world. Help me understand its races. I need to know what kind of different races are there. Do you? Lieutenant looks at you. This is for the thing. The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door and then to you. He lets out an audible sigh. You are obviously a liberal Sailite, the man tells him. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? Type A. Those are the Seminese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades in mound cities like Stadskanal and Bradford, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. Who exactly are the Maun? You know them by the names of their nation-states, the Oranges, Gottwaldians, and the Königsterners. My people simply call them Maun. Maun is a derogative term for first-world people of Gottwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant. The wooden clogs, though. In some municipalities of Orange, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats. The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously. Okay, got it. Who are Type A, then, in your view? The Vespertines and Messians of Vesper and Messina. The ancient Meterans of Matteo by the golden Pisantic Sea. The Surens of Sur-la-Clef, and even the North Königsteiners. All have Type A race propensities. The other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionists, but they have a glandular problem. Draws his finger across his face. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. And who are the Seminese and Areopagites in this? As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Seminese and the Areopagite are on the ascent. And the Seminese are the indigenous peoples of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Seminese inhabit the southern islands. He gestures toward the south across the ocean. I am Seminese, from the stock of Ulenbour on Ile de Fantôme, and the Areopagites. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ilmara deserts. The Seminese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ilmara to Insulin, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant, mound-ridden Occidentals discovered this place. What's the difference between the Seminese and the Areopagites? The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Seminese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the super-Eastol of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. He falls silent, contemplating the beauty and the mystery. Then he continues. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Sumino-Areopagite, or Semiopagite super race. That is all. There are no more Type A races in the world. Nature is not capable of more. Type B. Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koshkos and the Vaucheliers. They are mud-colored people. The Koshkos of Grad, Hugo, Zemsk, Shest, et al. Are what you would call white, officer, in a suspect description. You said Koshkos. I've been trained to identify them as white in official descriptions. Yes, to an untrained eye, the Koshko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes, and you will see. He squints, full of sage wisdom. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking Al Ghul and smoking the degenerate tobacco, and for eating potato. The Koshko, the countless micro-nationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with the Putat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba. Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates? You don't like ethnostates? They are microscopic, The Semino-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted from Holy Seminine to the boreal plateau of Katla. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Seminese, an Areopagite stock elected by nature, not the base, inert spoilage called demos, and the Vacholiers you mentioned. Revacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial cauldron, too mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet. Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what's happening, but that seems a little off. Pretty sure history hasn't lasted that long. The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive chess piece. That revolution was perpetrated by degenerate left-wing marauders, not all the people of Revachol. The revolution came to Revachol from Grodd in Zareth-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes, a soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucinations, and paranoia. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia, a hereditary prion condition passed from the Koshko to the Occidentals. Pauses. Theoretic self-reflection, but not sexually, probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant. Enough of Type B mediocrity, he nods, satisfied with the outcome. Vile CF race cauldron of pederasty, please. Type CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. Chimeric experiments. Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a Mesk woman and a Seminese man, only possible if the mother is Mesk and the father Seminese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. He looks west, ruefully. All they have left is to ride custom motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair. Seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring. Maybe I have misunderstood something, but aren't humans too similar to produce genetically sterile offspring? You are right. You have misunderstood. You lack basic phylogenetic education. Any more? Then there is, he pauses dramatically, the Semino-Kojic Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Semino-Kojic Chimera? It is not an aesthetic sight. Yes. The Koshko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Seminese with a Koshko to produce a super worker of Seminese strength and Grodd servility. This will never happen. The Seminese and the Koshko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Seminese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koshko woman or Koshka. But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type CF. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on? Now that we've been through all the types, do I understand advanced race theory? You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. Will you help me get the body down if I do? We will see. Access to the Union is important for our investigation, but there may be another way in, without becoming a race theoretician. I'm mildly worried he might take it seriously, the lieutenant thinks. Yes, I am, he concludes. I am worried. How do I word the mystery? Nice. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss. Type B Revacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease. Oh my god. This is like the most unique character I've ever encountered in a fucking RPG. Jesus Lord. Okay, I finished volumetric shit compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts. All endurance white checks unlocked. Learning cap for endurance raised to 4. Okay, it's not amazing, but... Advanced race theory. A mass of fantastic races swirls in your head. Desert pygmies playing with their own excrement. Koshkos juggling potatoes. Eczema-ridden mounds grinning and dancing on wooden clogs. Everyone is there, the whole race gang, plus some that you may have come up with yourself. The thieving sub-kips and the Saolite cast of fortunates hatching some kind of scheme. In the eye of this race Empyrean of vertigo reaching up to the heavens, you sense something, drawing nearer. Nearer. As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. Cool. So cool. Where's it coming from? From a distant sunset? Stage light? Flash photography? Nowhere in particular? It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. Yeah, that's me. I've been establishing my superstardom hard lately. Yeah, you have. You are a big dick cop. Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Bye. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera, lights, action. The sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on. Okay. It's very loud right at this spot. And I was like yelling for this guy's lines because it's all capital letters. Because of course it is. Oh my gosh, what a character. Alright. We're getting somewhere. We're moving along. I think we're doing alright. I think we're sort of on the main groove here. This body is very important. Gotta get the body down today. Today! And if I have to become some supremacist to do it, so be it. All in the line of duty, baby. You know, sometimes you gotta snort coke to stay undercover. Sometimes you gotta be a supremacist. Sometimes you gotta do both. My name is Mangg. Game you're watching has been Disco Elysium. See you fine folks in the next part.